Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel for another episode of my learning crochet mini series, month-long series, whatever you want to call it. Today I'm going to be working on this craft squares kit for this I believe cactus or gumi crochet kits. I got this at the Dollar Tree, like the panda one that I started last week. And it's basically the same thing, just a different shape and a different pattern. It brings basically the exact same stuff, except obviously the yarn color is different. And the instructions are pretty much the same, at least in the diagrams. They added a few more information that's like specific to this kit, I'm assuming, or that's going to be used in this kit or was used in this kit. And I will say, again, as a disclaimer, this video is not meant to teach anyone how to do this or even really a testing of the kit. It's more just how I thought would be best for me to help, for me to learn, because I am still really new to crochet and I just want to learn and I want to bring you all along with me. So I started like I do most of these, where I start just following the instructions how it starts. And so it starts with the cactus head or the cactus ball as the instructions tell you. And so I just followed along simply, and I want to say around like a quarter of the way through, I learned that this whole time in this video and the previous video, every time the instructions mentioned a slip stitch, I kept doing it wrong, and I basically just was doing a single crochet stitch instead of a slip stitch, which is why I think the panda head was coming out so wonky. But I want to say like a quarter of the way through, I realized my mistake and was able to correct it for pretty much everything else, and now I know what a slip stitch actually is and was doing it correctly. And besides that minor hiccup in the beginning, I honestly was feeling very confident in what I was doing. I felt like I really was getting the hang of it. I was finally learning and like memorizing each of the stitches, and I felt like the yarn and I weren't fighting as much. I felt like I was really getting the hang of holding the yarn and the crochet project and the crochet hook, and I felt like I didn't struggle as much as I was. And eventually I finished with the cactus head, and I think it just looks so cute. The color isn't exactly the same as it is in the picture, and it obviously isn't completely perfect, but it's still so far the best that I've done, and it just made me feel so motivated. So I jumped right into the flower pot and the branch. I believe I did the branch first, which I might have done a bit smaller because I did run out of the yarn, which seems to be a constant problem with me and these kids, is running out of yarn. But I didn't really mind if it was slightly smaller than it was supposed to be. I feel like it still looked really cute. It honestly kind of looks more like an ear than a branch. But then I did the flower pot, which also felt really quick and easy. I felt like I was really getting the hang of things. But after the flower pot, there's a soil piece that you're supposed to make with the same color. And I absolutely did not have like any yarn to do that. I had like a very small strand left of that color, and I kind of decided to go away from the instructions and just skip it altogether. Like I said, I'm not really trying to test out the kit itself. I'm mostly just using it as a starting point to help learn crochet. And so, especially with this one where I felt like it wasn't such a big deal if I changed it or modified it, I just decided to skip the soil and stuff the flower pot and sew the cactus ball directly into the flower pot instead of onto the soil itself, because I just didn't have the yarn to make the soil, and I didn't really want to wait to buy more yarn and just finish it later. I really wanted to continue working because I was so motivated and so excited that everything felt like it was coming together, and I was actually learning and memorizing this crochet, like the different types of crochet. And so I really didn't want to stop, and I didn't really feel like it was going to be a big deal. Now, looking at it, it did change the shape quite a bit from the picture and like my final product, but I honestly don't really mind it. am still very happy with how this ends up turning out. I still think it looks really cute. I will say I have learned since that starting with this type of kit or this type of crochet, which I believe is called arigumi, isn't recommended for beginners, at least from what I've heard. It can be pretty tricky, and that usually it's recommended that you start like with something easier, something that isn't necessarily 3D like this. I unfortunately didn't know that. I just saw the kit and I've been wanting to learn crochet, but now that I have the kits, like I'm just gonna do it. And I will say, at least for me, I feel like it's been a good starting point, but I'm obviously new to this and maybe I'm wrong. I probably am. Honestly, maybe it's because like there's lots of different crochet styles besides just like single and double crochet that these kids don't really teach you. And maybe it's like that kind of stuff that I'm missing. That's why it's not a good starting point, but I'm enjoying it. And I did do the flowers that go onto the cactus. For the branch, you're actually supposed to do like little buds just like sewed into it. I really liked doing the flowers. I thought it looked really cute. So I, with like some extra yarn that I found from a needle punch kit, just made a second flower for the branch because I thought it would be cuter and I just liked it better. And this is it all fully sewn up together with its face, details also sewn in. Again, it's not exactly like the kit and it's nowhere near perfect, but it's the best that I've done so far. And I just think it's so cute and I'm just so happy with how it turned out. It honestly fueled my motivation for crochet a lot because I found myself quickly learning and memorizing the steps, and with everything coming out so nicely, and the fact that I was able to customize it a bit more and not make it exactly like the kit itself was like showing you, I just really loved it. It made me really excited to continue learning and for my next videos in this crochet month long series. But I really hope you all enjoyed this video and enjoyed this cute cactus that I made. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye!